It's been said that community radio is a rare medium that's well done. It's a cute play on words, but it's also quite true. Community radio is unique, both for our programming and for our source of funding. We are funded by you, those who listen faithfully. So please give now at borderradioaz.org. And thanks.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon.
On today's program, we are going to be speaking first with John Durazo. He is the man behind Coffee Talk over at Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management. We're going to be talking about what he talks about at Coffee Talk. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, as well as City Councilman Mark Martinez. He's going to be in the building. We're going to talk to him about City Council, what the city has on the agenda. I think they voted on something pretty important last night. We're going to talk to him about that as well. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget, you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon. Johnny, what do you want to talk about?
We got kids right over here in the next studio right here, and they're waving at us. I think they're watching us over here.
I don't know if they can hear us, but they're from Somerton.
They're from Somerton?
They're from one of the schools is what I believe.
Yes, that's a thumbs up. I absolutely love it when the kids come in here. It makes my day. I love kids getting exposed to radio, which, you know, some people might say is a dying medium, but these kids over here, they're making memories right here with their school. Yeah. And maybe one of them wants to be the next Johnny Porter. Who knows
or
if they
Victor,
want
Victor or Cecilia
or whatever.
Or Talon.
Yeah, like Talon working the boards over here. Talon's over here. Absolutely. So shout out to the kids over there. I love seeing their smiley faces and all the teachers that bring them in. So.
And we might be on their TikToks later or something.
Maybe if they're doing the TikToks.
They're on TikTok, probably are.
Yeah. Oh, no, I saw them just pose right now. They did. They're getting on something right now. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We can also talk maybe a little bit of basketball. Did you watch it? Bye, guys. They're waving bye now. They're on to the next thing. Okay. Later, guys. Did you watch any of the games?
Yeah, so San Antonio, I know. So if I had to root, because my team are the Kings and the Warriors, they're out. Your team is the Suns, they're out.
Yeah.
So now if I had to pick, I'm going to go with my picks: San Antonio, New York.
San Antonio, New York.
Well, not new teams, but like newer to like winning.
Well, it's been a while since San Antonio. Like I think 2018 was the last time they were in the finals game. You know, they used to be a really strong team. I was actually listening to somebody talking about yesterday, Tim Duncan. Mm-hmm. They said that was a better basketball player than Kobe. Right?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
They say, but the thing is, what they're talking about was how it makes you feel. When you watch Kobe, it makes you feel a certain way. Mm-hmm. When you watch Tim Duncan, he's just. Do you remember Tim Duncan at all?
Yeah.
He was just very stoic. He made these great plays, but there was never an expression on his face. He never did anything it was just like, I'm just good.
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't smile or do anything. So back then when Tim Duncan was on their team, they were absolutely great. So maybe it's their time again.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, what teams are you liking?
You know,
of who's left?
So I was thinking about that. Obviously, I want the Lakers to beat OKC. I just want them to get out. I can't stand them. Mm-hmm. The foul baiting from.
And they beat the Suns.
Yeah, and they beat the Suns. So I wanted the Lakers, but I think for my one of my best friends growing up, he's passed away. The Spurs, mm-hmm. His favorite player was David Robinson back in the day, and he loved the Spurs. So for Ruben Lujan out there, rest in peace. Yeah, probably the Spurs. So,
okay.
Yeah. All right. Enough basketball talk and kid talk. John's over here. When are we going to get to me?
Yeah.
No. I'm
coffee
talking
talk.
about
coffee talk.
And he has coffee.
I had to Starbucks.
Yeah, he has coffee with them. So we are talking to John Durazo from Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management. Thank you for being with us.
So good, man. You did so well.
Yeah, I did.
Thanks for having me.
I have to say that word a lot. But so real quick, any basketball teams? You watch basketball at all?
No, I don't pick up sports a lot. I don't have too much time for that.
You're focused on
coffee and money.
Yeah, coffee, money.
If it doesn't go cha-ching at the register or in his bank account, no.
I don't hear it.
No.
Right.
Sure.
But no, ever in the sports, I'm being serious.
For football, I watch, Kansas City.
Okay.
My buddy's been a fan for 15 15 years. So part of the rules for the house is if you're going to stay at his dad said, if you're going to stay at my house, you're going to go for KC. Okay. So, go Royals, go Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's about it. Yeah. So I'm not, other than basketball and boxing and then like UFC.
Oh, I love UFC.
Yeah.
I love watching UFC.
Yeah, UFC. I like that. Other than that, like I watch football, but I don't get into the stats. I don't know a lot of the, ins and outs. That's why I got Victor over here.
Right.
Yeah. Yesterday it was all soccer day.
Yeah, it just happened to be like a soccer day because we had 2 players from the women's team here at AWC, and we had a guy who was starting up a semi-pro team for men, Yuma United FC.
Yeah, and so like if I wasn't here with Victor, I would just
sitting
You'd have
down.
been like, how do you win a game? You score a goal?
Yeah, it's so bad, but Victor helps out on that. But yeah, so obviously sports not your thing. You're into money, but not your own money, which I know you are. But you help people invest their own, right?
Right. Yeah. So my main job is to help people retire on time and manage their funds while they're working to kind of take that stress off of their shoulders and have someone they can trust to manage their funds.
And we've had you on the show before. I just wanted to give that context there and then a little bit. But still, we're going to go back into it for the people that missed that episode. You're raised in Yuma?
Yeah, born and raised Yuma local native. Went to AWC, actually where we're at right now. Went to U of A Yuma.
And elementary, or I think you went, did you go to one of the Catholic
I did,
schools?
yeah, Immaculate Conception.
Catholic okay.
School.
You went there, and did you go to Yuma Catholic as well, or?
No, Cibola.
You went to Cibola.
Went to public, yeah. So raised in middle school Catholic, and then went to Cibola for my 4 years, played tennis all 4 years, and then went to AWC from there.
So were you into numbers and money at that time?
No, actually not really. I wasn't. I was more into STEM and science, and was thinking maybe going like computer engineer, software engineering, more kind of that kind of side of things. Math, I was always good at math. Made it to calculus 2, so that's an achievement for me.
Yeah,
I got to calc 3, and I was like, yeah, this is crazy. This is way too conceptual.
You're like whatever. I'm not trying to get to the moon. I'm not applying for NASA or whatever.
Right. I just want to be able to balance a balance sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and the reason why I bring that up too is because I think tech world is kind of, I don't know if it was your introduction to this, but I know at Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management, you're part of the tech team,
right?
So you're making sure that everything's secured over at your office, right?
Correct. Yeah. So firewall management, computer management, user management, all of that's through me as well.
And so, is that how you got introduced to Imperial Valley Wealth Management? Did you start out in the world as somebody that was a tech guy, a techie?
I started out pushing paper.
Oh, okay.
That sucked. Yeah, as an intern, is how I got there, just doing paperwork, and I was like, man, paperwork sucks. Like,
It does
please
suck.
give me something else to do, and that led to technology, and then managing technology that way, doing operations analysis, and then it led into financial.
Okay, so wait a minute. So intern at the place you're at
Yes.
now? Oh,
Straight out of high school.
Straight out of high school.
Yeah,
so how did you
senior.
get that opportunity?
Actually, my counselor is my godmother, and so her husband is one of the advisors at the firm.
Oh, okay.
So kind of a little networking there, and kind of wiggled my way in.
Yeah, you got your way in, and you got the job nobody wants.
Yeah,
right.
pushing paper.
What were some of your initial tasks when you were pushing paper?
Man, printing, stapling, delivering paperwork to clients' houses or businesses, making phone calls to come sign paperwork, filling up the fridge, just, like intern stuff.
Intern stuff.
Get the coffee, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, no. Thankfully, I didn't have to go travel for coffee. We had a coffee machine in the place. But
I will say this, though. You probably felt good when you're able to deliver the paperwork, though, right?
Yeah.
You got to get out of the office a little bit and cruise around.
Oh, yeah. They paid me to go drive around. It was nice.
Yeah, that must have felt really good. And,
it was like 10 cents a mile. It's
yeah,
great.
and it's not like you're like a server or anything. You're not bringing bad news or anything. You're just having them sign some paperwork.
Yep. Yeah, for the clients, who can't get around anymore, they're older and they can't leave the house. It's a nice thing we do. We'll go send out runners or interns to go pick up signed paperwork.
And do they still offer that?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay. It's just not you anymore.
It's just not me. Yeah, we still do that. It's just not me anymore. I got more important things to do. But yeah, we do still send out people to go get signatures because some clients are home written, and they still need our help.
Yeah,
and so we don't mind
absolutely.
doing that.
Yeah. So then you went from that to what part?
Operations analyst.
Oh, right.
So
what is that?
It was mostly a tech-heavy job. What I was doing is looking at the efficiencies of the office, seeing like what we're doing day to day, and trying to save time and save money. So if there was a software we can use that can cut our time down from making paperwork, or better ways of communication we can use, better just overall operation efficiency, that was my job. To go hound what's taking so long or what's not working, make it quicker.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm very interested. So how did you get to that position, or how did somebody say, hey, John would be good at this? Were you already efficient, or you had some type of, I guess,
Like hustle?
Yeah.
No, by then
there you go.
I'm great at technology by default, so I was always quick to do things they assigned me. And at a certain point, there's nothing else we can give to you, and you don't want to do paperwork. So what do you want to do? I was like, well, here's what I know how to do. And it kind of just came out of there.
Oh, wow.
And so in order for me to understand their workload and what could be taking so long, I kind of had to work in the workload.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still doing operations and still doing paperwork and client interaction. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, how can this be done quicker? What's taking so long in a certain process? Is there steps we don't need to do anymore? Mm-hmm. And then I would kind of reverse engineer it that way and then come up with a solution. We'd implement it, save time, all is good.
So do you remember some of the first things that you did, or is there anything that you could kind of stood out like, wait a minute, we're wasting a lot of time here. Here's something that we could do. And it was like a quick fix. And they were like, wow, this is real.
That's a good question. We had a third party, what would you call them, endpoint support. And I replaced them with boots on ground to do the quick troubleshooting. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know if you guys know, like the ticket system.
Yeah.
Computers have a problem, you send in a ticket, someone responds to it. So that would take, 5 minutes to up to 2 hours, depending on how busy they were. Right. So I replaced them, and I was boots on ground ticket system guy. So that was one of them, much more simpler option. But no, the way we stored files, I kind of renewed that. We went from a domain server to local work group instead, and that would save time. But no, it was a lot of small things.
A lot of small things, but those small things obviously add up.
Oh, for sure.
Wow, we're saving time here. More efficient and also a better client experience,
Correct.
Right?
Right, because if the worker's quick, then the client gets in and out quicker.
In and out.
Stuck, doing things. It's like, oh, this is taking crazy.
Yeah, and so the better client experience, and it's like they get their information faster, which obviously they feel better about, right?
Right.
Yeah. So then what'd you move to after that?
So after operations is when I started shadowing one of the owners for his job. So I had an interest in it.
You shadowed him like, I'm going to take your job, sucker.
No. Shadow as in duplicate.
I've seen in my head, I was picturing you in all black like a ninja.
Right, in the shadows.
In the shadow.
Like, I'm coming for that position.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, yeah.
No.
Okay.
I had an interest in becoming an advisor. And so in order to do that, I wanted to see what the job was like first before just going out and start studying for my license. So I did everything with him, money management, proposals, recommendations, just overall client experience, doing reviews, notes, like everything. Just right next to this, right-hand guy.
So like you would, because obviously, or maybe not obviously, but my form of reference would be when you're at a restaurant and they're like, oh, he's in training, so he's going to be over here with, and they're quiet. Is it, that was your role?
Yeah, pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just a witness.
For
90% of it. And then after about 12 months, he was like, well, how do you feel? I was like, I think I want to do this. This is great because we're helping people invest money, save money, retire, and they want to pass down money to their kids. All just great things that the common man can't really do on his own.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a whole different world. It's the same, almost like when you would need a lawyer to step into a courtroom because it's a different language and you're totally under a different set of rules. And if you don't understand them, you could get yourself in trouble.
Correct.
In court. You can also get yourself financially in trouble unless you have somebody that could navigate these waters. Correct.
Exactly. Yeah. What's good debt? What's bad debt? How much I save per year? Should I be in my 401k? What's a 403b? It's common stuff to me that to you guys is probably like, jibber jabber.
43B.
Exactly. It's like Chinese.
What is it? Victor, go. 43B. What's a 43B?
43B? No, I don't know. I'm not an investment banker.
Yeah, I would say it was something off of Star Wars, but it's obviously not.
Oh,
that.
Like a drone.
Wow, that'd be cool. No, so then when you were shadowing, was there any one of those modalities that really stuck out to you that like you really gravitated towards?
Making proposals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually making the group of investments to have the client use. So we don't have like cookie cutter investments. Everything we make is custom.
Explain the difference for our listeners real quick.
Sure. So like for a cookie cutter investment firm, they'll put you in like 3 or 4 mutual funds. It's the same mutual funds they use every single day. It's the same thing. It's just you're a client, you have $100,000, you go here. It's like very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
For us, we have the clients take on a risk questionnaire. You could be growth, you could be conservative. Based on your answers from our pool of investments, we pick and choose what's the proper models to use, and they make you a custom portfolio. That part is the most fun part that I get to do.
Yeah. So why is that fun for you? Because it sounds like, and I guess
I'm a nerd out too much if you do that.
Well, here's the thing. Like it's something different for each person, right? So it's not like the same monotonous, everyday thing, which can get boring.
Yes.
And so this is if it's tailored, then it has to fit them. So is that why you like it a little bit more?
It is. Okay. I don't like, so the reason why I didn't like paperwork is because it's monotonous.
Yeah.
It's the same form, same thing, same signature. So with the proposals, it's custom and tailored, like you said. And so it's kind of cool because I get to meet that person, understand who they are, what their goals are, and then get their risk level. Based on that, give them a range of return per year to meet those goals. So if it's like retire in 10 years, we can get more aggressive. If it's, hey, John, we have 365 days, I need this, X amount to turn into Y. How are we going to do that? That can give them options. So it's like kind of puzzle piecing in a way, which is why it's fun. And then once I plug in the puzzle piece, then the puzzle's completed in my mind. So that's the satisfaction part.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back on the other side of the break and talk about how you came up with Coffee Talk and what you do there and what somebody can expect.
For sure.
All right. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
There is so much advice about decluttering, like the Marie Kondo method, where you ask yourself, does this item spark joy? Well, donating a vehicle that you don't need anymore to KAWC and Border Radio is an easy way to help us bring you the programs that bring you joy. And it's a great way to declutter. Learn more at kawc.org/cars.
You are tuned to 94.7 FM KOFA Border Radio. We're heading into a hot day in Yuma with an afternoon high of about 98 degrees. Winds are calm, becoming westerly at 5 miles per hour tonight. Clear skies with a low around 65 degrees. In Welton on Wednesday, Arizona Western's Entrepreneurial College cut the ribbon on the Future 48 Workforce Accelerator. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs and state and local leaders were in attendance. You can read this report and see the photos brought to you by Cisco Stargazer, KAWC's Education Solutions reporter, online at kawc.org.
I'm Maria Hinojosa, next time on Latino USA. Mexican singer Julieta Venegas on her upcoming album and memoir, Norteña. It's an ode to the place that created her sound and has stayed with her forever. That's next time on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
Exactly how does Border Radio bring you some of the most incredible music on the planet? Listener support. Donations from people who care. Your support is an investment in the powerful idea that handcrafted songs from yesterday and today should be accessible, relevant, and always playing for everyone. Visit borderradioaz.org to support the music, and thanks.
KOFA Border Radio doesn't sound like any other radio station in Yuma. We are a non-commercial source for music from around the world, across the decades and local artists. Our hosts are volunteers. If you would like to get involved, send an email to music@borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here with John Durazo from Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management. And so we're going to get into coffee talk. And I think I know why you did it. Now, I'm going to lead off with this, though, because you mentioned Calculus 3. And when it comes to financial and getting into the world, it could feel like you're in Calculus 3,
Totally,
right? You
right.
mentioned these different terms, and there's something called like a CD or something like that, and that's not what you put into your car back in the 90s. You know, it's something different. But there's different things. It's overwhelming.
It is.
It's overwhelming. I'm glad there's people like you. How do people like you make me feel comfortable going into that world?
Wow, that's a great question. So what I like to do first, and the highest priority, is educate clients and even non-clients. So helping you understand what I'm talking about is most important, and then having you understand what I'm recommending is second. So whether or not you choose to do those things is up to you, of course, but if I can take you from where you're at and bridge that gap on understanding and give you a solution, then I did my job at the minimum.
So then, like, if somebody comes in, if they're like frustrated, but they know that they have to get this in order, maybe there's a deadline looming, or maybe they could be sick, or maybe it's about to like they're tired of their job and they want to retire early or something. So how do you first calm them down, or just let them know like you're going to be all right?
Yeah, most people don't know if they can or can't do something by by the initial part of it. What I can relate it to is, imagine you had a backpack just full of things. In the backpack, it's shaken up from life and it's unorganized. When people come in, they dump out their backpack on the table and go, here's what I have. Do I have what I need? And then we just rearrange them and organize them and show them what's missing or what they already have. Hey, you actually have too much of this, or you don't have enough of that. Here's the table. Now I'm going to put it back in the backpack organized for you. And then if you want me to maintain the organization of it, I can do so. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes good sense. I was picturing that all the way along, because I'm the guy that comes in and it's like a totally different world for me, and I just get anxious. I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know, even the initial asking questions about these things, it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's scary. So I would need somebody that could, like, it's going to be all right. Calm down. Here's what we have to do.
Yeah, the hardest part is making that first attempt to say, I don't know what I don't know. And that's the hardest hurdle for some clients, because they're scared to call in or afraid to ask questions because they don't want to sound dumb, of course, or they've never done this before. It's a whole new world and they don't even know what step one is. But, step one is making the phone call and saying, hey, I need help.
Yeah. So, Victor, have you done any of this stuff? If you're familiar with this world at all?
Yes. So as I'm in my 40s, as you are, you have to think about retirement age, and even though that's like 20 some years away, right? If everyone retires in their like mid 60s, so you gotta just plan ahead and know that you're every little bit about it, every paycheck comes out, you got to put it in investment. You got to have it ready, and then you got to plan ahead so that when you do retire, you have a little bit of cushion. And then you can still plan to for travel, obviously, expenses like, food, mortgage, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but you personally, like, what have you done? Or
luckily I have a wife who's a little more knowledgeable in terms of like planning ahead. And,
lucky you.
Yeah, so that's not why I married her. But,
but it helps. Not at all. Yeah.
No, my wife's a lawyer,
sweet.
and she does like wills, estates, and trusts.
Very
so
good.
she knows she's met people who like haven't planned, and like now the family's having a
Crisis.
fight over like assets and like property and all that and unfortunately so we are planning ahead and getting ready.
Absolutely. And since you mentioned wife in his bio that he sent me, you're newly married.
Newly married.
Congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Newly married.
It's our 3-month anniversary tomorrow.
And then I mentioned off air some girl that from your church and everything.
Yeah, met her at church.
From
our small group, and just found love from there.
All right. How long ago did you meet her?
2 Novembers ago.
Oh, okay.
I think about that. Yeah.
Very cool, man. Congratulations
thank
on
you.
that.
Yeah.
And,
It's been awesome.
and so she obviously could feel comfortable, like, hey, babe, we're taken care of. Like,
Oh yeah. She goes, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're taking care of
we're
it.
taking care of. We got this. We're going to be set, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
"Hey, I got you. And then I'm going to bring up something else, and then we'll get to the coffee talk.
Sure.
So how does Pokemon fit into any of this stuff?
So Pokemon, I've been playing Pokemon since I was like maybe, I don't know, I can start walking around, maybe 6 or 5, who knows. But I started collecting super young. I had a binder and I go to school, we trade Pokemon cards, you know, this really old school stuff. And I kept the binder for a very long time. And about a month ago, I haven't traded it since. You know, I haven't brought it up at all. But a month ago, the wife goes, hey, I want to pick up some Pokemon packs. And I was like, okay. Did you like see a video or something? She goes, yeah, it looks pretty fun. I was like, okay, you know, not trying to freak out. You know, I'm trying to nerd out really bad.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, yeah, we can go pick up some Pokemon cards.
We
can go
could
check
do
it out.
that.
Yeah, that sounds
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And so
If you want to, if
yeah.
you insist, like
yeah,
that.
she's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
yeah. She's like, how cute is this card? And so I looked online, and so I was like, yeah, we can pick up a few. And so we picked up some packs, and then ordered some stuff online. I started collecting, and she's like, oh, well, do you like Pokemon? And I was like, you know, just trying to jump on my seat. You know, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I got a binder. It's like, you know, this thick. And so we started collecting Pokemon cards, and I was like, well, we got to make sure it's not just an impulse, you know? So for like, you know, 21-day rule of habit, you know, there's a few local trading card shops, and we went there, and we were rummaging through the picks, and so we started collecting and actually got a good stack going. And so from there, we've just been collecting Pokemon cards. Went to our first show in Mesa in Scottsdale, and that was pretty fun. Just trading and yeah.
Now, so I ask specifically because is there any worth in these things? Like,
Oh,
is
absolutely.
It,
Yes.
that's, yes. I obviously yes,
Yeah.
but so you're a financial guy. So looking at it,
Oh,
you're
is it
like
gonna quiz me?
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. Like,
No, I'm kidding.
what are some of the names of it? The Pokemon,
Like
what's
Pikachu, Blastoise, Charizard. Just the top
Charizard,
three.
like, that's
Yeah.
the one I hear a lot.
With the
is
chase
that one.
cards. Yeah.
So since you're a financial guy, so you could look like, oh my goodness, that's going to be worth some good money.
Yeah, no,
like,
definitely
that's a
not.
good investment.
Yeah,
right?
definitely general advice, but not general advice. But yeah, you can invest technically in cards because they appreciate in value over time. So alternative stock, stock
Right.
market things, you can pick up Pokemon cards and get them slabbed and sealed and keep them and watch them
Have you
grow.
done that where there are certain like airtight seal?
I haven't bought any slabs yet, but I do have top-loaded protected cards. Yeah, for the purpose of investing, and some of them are just cool.
Yeah.
It's cool art and stuff.
some are cool. So then,
The collector's market is huge, like with anything, right? With
Right.
sports and like,
Yeah,
I know like it's kind of been in the news, like, Logan Paul, the guy online.
yeah, he's made it
Social
more
media.
popular,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Yeah,
like collecting
unfortunately.
cards, and like because he has all this wealth, he's able to like show off when he buys like $1 million card or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah, and
And
I
he
think
keeps one on his chain. He's got
Yeah.
like a
That's his thing. Yeah, that's
crazy
kind of his thing.
Charizard like audit or it
One of like
bid it
the-
for like 1.2 million.
wow.
Yeah.
So what makes that so valuable? Like that particular card?
So they're older cards, they're like from 98, 93 or whenever
okay.
it came out. So limited print is the main thing. And then limited pull rate. So it's like, 0.008% chance of pulling that card. So it's just supply and demand.
So supply and demand is something that obviously you're probably familiar with
Right.
as well. So then, do you have a good amount? Like, have you ever kind of done an audit? Of
Oh,
what
yeah. I have
you
a collector's app. I have it tracked, obviously. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll show it to you after.
He's not a
off air.
casual.
That
No,
is
that's not a casual guy. No,
He knows
my
what he's
wife and I
talking
both
about.
collect. Yeah.
Wow, I
think
wasn't
my
expecting
collection's
that
like at-
answer.
That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$600 so far, mine, and hers is probably like at $450.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so now you've explained finance in the Pokemon world. Like a 5-year-old, I can start to understand some of these things. Now, coffee talk, because we got into you make them feel comfortable if they call. Now you started this coffee talk where you just can show up at a coffee place
Yeah.
and then ask some general advice.
Yeah, so I take over Creation Coffee. I don't take it over, but I set up a little nook in the corner at Creation Coffee every 2 weeks on Fridays. I have one coming out this Friday, and what I do is I simply sit down, I answer questions people have, and I buy their coffee, and they get to hang out with me for 5-10 minutes and say, "Hey, John, I'm thinking about buying a car. Or I have this much in savings, or I have this and this and that."
Oh, even questions like that?
Oh, just general financial questions. Yeah, they don't need to come in with like, "Hey, my 401k is only at 2%." Just
But like seriously, like I'm thinking about buying a car,
Yeah.
and then they could give you some variables,
Yeah.
and then you're like, well, based upon these variables, here's your answer. Here's
Yep.
the best advice that I have.
Exactly.
And you get a coffee.
and they get a free coffee.
Oh, my
And then I
goodness.
just send them back off into the world.
Yeah. So have you had any interesting questions?
It's mainly come down to, hey, I'm buying a car. Here's my interest rate, my monthly payment, my length term. Should I do this? Or it's this debt versus bad debt. Or, hey, John, I have more than 10 grand in my savings account. Where should it go? Just general stuff that you can Google, but it's nice to have someone there to answer it for you who's licensed, and you can go, this is solid information, not some AI slop response.
Yeah. And so you mentioned, because I feel better when I'm talking to a human being too than Google, because it's like, okay, did I put in all the correct information? Am I sure? Right. But with somebody you could sit across from, and it's like they could prompt you for that more. Like, actually, I need another variable here, so let me get that from you. Yeah. And so typical questions like that. Can I buy a car? These things.
Should I pay off my house?
Yeah, my house. And then one thing that was, I guess, revolutionary when I learned it, how you mentioned good debt versus bad debt.
Yes.
And there's a such thing as good debt.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about that before we go.
Sure. So good debt is a good debt because you can have it for a long time, and the interest rate on it is not crushing you, right? Or it's closer to the inflationary rate, which is not bad. But good debt, you can actually pay it off quicker than the time of its actual self. Bad debt is like high interest debt that's excessive timing, like a 400 grand at 7% mortgage is probably not good debt based on those two variables alone. But good debt would be a 3-year car loan for 2%. Something that's manageable, payable, low monthly. It's okay to have those debts. The best that you can have is debt-free debt, right? But it also depends. So there is a thing between good and bad debt. It's just has to be looked over with someone who can tell you that.
Okay. So, and you mentioned one other word. I was going to leave it at that, but since you brought that up, the other word, inflation. Do we need to be worried about it? What is it? Just break it down very quickly.
Yeah.
And is there something you could do to kind of hedge against it?
That's a great question. Inflation is the increase in the cost of goods, common goods, milk, gas, rent, that goes up over time. If your money is not meeting or beating the inflationary rate, which is roughly 2.67% a year, then you are losing purchasing power. So what you can do to combat that is high yield savings, money market accounts, just something that's safer that can beat the inflationary rate over time.
And there's certain places to put your money that beat that rate? Okay.
Yes, CDs, money market accounts, high yield savings. Most online banks offer a better rate than 3%. So just know if you're meeting or beating 3% per year, you're doing well.
Cool.
Well enough to beat inflation.
I got some financial advice there, Victor. That's cool. I got that. Now, do I get a coffee still?
Yes, you can come out for a coffee.
Catch up for coffee later.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us, John. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man,
always a pleasure. Again, congratulations on being a newlywed.
Thank you.
3-month anniversary tomorrow. All right. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our very own Mark Martinez right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Helping Hands of Yuma connects volunteers with seniors in need of assistance. Services include transportation, shopping, and notary assistance, as well as community education workshops, advocacy, and personal hygiene supplies. Available to seniors 60 years and older. Details on services and how to volunteer at helpingyuma.org.
Welcome to KAWC's The Hotspot.
I'm Chloe Michael.
And I'm Maya Manry. This week, we hear some fresh perspectives about Yuma. Students from all over the world sharing their experiences.
If I'm honest, it's great. I don't think I could have chosen a better place to be welcome to.
The show is available as a podcast or online at kawc.org under the shows tab.
Bringing the heat to Yuma and La Paz, it's The Hotspot.
From KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. On Wednesday, May 6, Arizona Western's Entrepreneurial College cut the ribbon on the Future 48 Workforce Accelerator in Welton.
This new 5,600 square foot facility will deliver hands-on, industry-aligned training in high-demand fields, including electrical technology, advanced manufacturing, broadband fiber optics, and solar installation.
That was Governor Katie Hobbs, who attended the grand opening. The facility is a new addition addition to AWC's Walton Learning Center, which primarily teaches manufacturing. It's a $3.6 million investment from the Arizona Commerce Authority, and it'll help foster the next generation of Arizona's tradespeople. That's essential because Professor Bruce Carroll says the demand is high.
They're always looking for people, and that's what we're here for, is to get them the opportunity to open these doors so they can advance their careers.
From KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer.
From KAWC, this is Siendo Primero. I'm Melanie Ruiz Lopez. And I'm Sajei Bárcenas. In this episode, we'll be talking about entrepreneurs and local business.
No querían que empezara a vender, y yo me lo aventé y lo hice.
When I do retire, I will have everything ready to go.
You only need one voice that believes in you. That's gonna motivate you extremely.
A new energy with the same mission: to give students a voice.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what is being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate, like I've discovered I can do, and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
Run by music lovers like yourselves, KOFA Border Radio has what you need. A non-commercial home filled with music heard from all over the world. Tune in at 94.7 FM, 1320 AM on the KOFA app or at borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by our very own Mark Martinez. And I say very own, even though we share you with the city. But, you're here, too. And you do a show here as well, right?
I sure do.
Yeah. What show do you do here?
It's a Thursday morning version of The Bridge.
You do The Bridge. You're one of the volunteer hosts.
I am.
Yeah. You heard the call that Dave put out, and he said, you know what? I'm going to try radio. How do you like it so far?
Actually, I didn't know it was radio. He was asking for volunteers, so I thought I was going to dust stuff off and take out the trash.
Oh, wow.
So I get here, and he's like, hey, it's a radio show. I was like, cool. I'll try it.
Oh, I did. That's an interesting story. I had no idea that's how that happened.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, I guess. I just thought I was going to volunteer and just help out around here.
He was asking for volunteers, and you're like, hey, I want to help out. And so you showed up, and now you're on the radio. Very cool. And so let's go back a bit. You're also a veteran.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
And I tease, but we share you with the city. You're also a council member.
That's correct.
The city. Before we get to any of that, though, where did you grow up? Are you from here in Yuma?
I'm born and raised in Yuma. I'm a fifth-generation Human.
Fifth generation.
That's right. Our family's here. We don't say we crossed the border crossed us.
Mm-hmm.
We were already here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's absolutely.
I'm from Okie Town, but I grew up in the Lanes.
Yeah, and so I think you mentioned that when crossing and passing over here, because that's where I still live. I was born and raised pretty much Okie Town, and I live there again now. So you said that's where you grew up, and then you went to the Lanes, or?
We started out in Okie Town. I got a lot of family there, a lot of roots. I still go there to see my uncle at least once a week. But I grew up in the Lanes.
Oh, you grew up in the Lanes. Okay, from the south side to the west side.
That's correct. That's right.
Yeah. And so, what was it like growing up in the Lanes?
Oh, it was a great experience. You know, it was notorious back in the '80s when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. A lot of good friends there. A lot of good people. A lot of hardworking families that started out living in the Lanes.
Mm-hmm. And was it one of the main ones, like Mojave, Yavapai?
I was on Apache Lane, that's right.
Apache, right over there. Now, you said notorious because it did start to get rough at some point. Was it rough when you were growing up?
It sure was. It was a good time. It was a fun time. But there was a lot of stuff happening there. You could find anything you wanted in the Lanes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was an interesting interesting youth. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I see this. I would say the same thing about growing up in Okietown, right? I loved it, right? I didn't know any different. That I loved it. But now, did you get involved in any of the gang activity when you were young at all?
Well, I don't know what the statute of limitations are.
No, you're fine. Nobody's going to come in. The FBI and stuff's not.
I hung out with them.
You hung out? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of good friends down the lane. We used to break dance a lot too.
Did you?
We did. We'd break out our cardboard and go to somebody's driveway and break dance when it was first happening.
So then, did you get good? Were you pretty decent? Or
I was decent. I usually broke more things.
You were part of the break part of the dance.
The broke dance.
Or the break and less dance. Huh? You're more break.
But I loved the music back then. You know, people used to cruise back then. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, tell me about that. The cruising and how important that was.
You know, we'd go to Sanguinetti Park. You know, and wax our cars and shine our cars. I had a '65 when I was growing up. My buddy had a '67 Impala, and it was always stalling out. So we'd be on 4th Avenue, push starting it. And instead of everybody had hydraulics back then, but we had wooden blocks in the springs. And sometimes when you take a turn, a block would fall out. Then we'd be doing side to side and have to find the block. But it was a great time. It was. I wish it was like that today for the kids.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're kind of bringing up that same type of culture. I grew up the same thing. You take out the vehicle. I remember the first time I got into a 64 Impala with the switches and everything, and where youngsters going around at Gila Vista at the time, just cruising around where everybody else got out of school. We got picked up by Robert Reyes. He was part of one of the clubs back then, and it was so cool being picked up by him, and we're waving to all the kids we're in class with, and he. Beautiful Impala. But you're saying why do you wish that they were still around? Because you make a lot of strong friendships, right? And then bonds when that happens.
A lot of socialization too. I don't think kids know how to talk anymore, to socialize, to go and look for a job. And I've seen a lot of that throughout my career. I saw it declining as I got older. I don't know if it's because I got old and didn't understand the new youth, but it's just different. We just had a lot of fun. There were a lot of things to do back then.
A lot of fun. And so you said, how old were you when you got your first vehicle?
I was 16.
16.
It was $400.
$400. And you invested in it? And then is that the one you took cruising, or is that later?
That was one of the ones I took cruising.
Okay.
We had a Nova too, a 76 Nova, but we didn't put oil in it and blew the engine.
Yeah, I've been with my buddy when that happened too. Yeah, with being 16 and oil, that's a thing. You need to put it in there. And I remember we were cruising. It was on Arizona Avenue, and it was like, well, that car's no good anymore. We just blew a rod, just left it there. Yeah,
right through the hood.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience.
We were taken out of school, me and my younger brother, and. My parents put us to work, so we worked in the fields in the daytime, and then in a packing shed at night. By the next semester, I was ready to go back to school.
Yeah,
I said no more.
So school, and so then when did you decide to join the military?
My dad had when I was young. I grew up with John Wayne, so I knew I wanted to go to the military. I used to see a picture of my dad when he was in the military. His godfather was in World War II, so I knew that's where I wanted to go.
So early influence about the military.
And when I was growing up, you knew you had to do something at 18. You couldn't stay home.
Yeah.
So you had to go.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell my 17-year-old that, and it's like, and then everybody, because that's what I have at 17, is going to be 18 in December. But then I look at everybody that has older kids, and they all live with their parents,
right?
Up to 26 years old, and they're all still living with their parents, and I'm like, what is this what's going on? As soon as I turned, as soon as I graduated, I was still 17. I was making plans to get out the house. I remember my mom cried that when I left, she's like, "Don't leave me," and I was like, "Later, Mom. I want to be on my own." But it seems like the kids, like you said, something's different, and that's not there.
It's a norm today. I don't know if they don't know how to socialize out in public. And it's just safer to stay home. So I don't know. It's just a different world.
Different world. But you're 18. You go into the military immediately?
I joined I was still in high school and then left after high school.
Oh, okay. So you did that. How long were you in the military?
I actually retired from the reserves after 28 years.
28 years.
Yeah. It was good times. I've been all over the world. And I tell kids that when I encourage them to recruit. I've been all over.
all over the world. And then did you decide, was it a conscious decision to come back to Yuma after traveling all over the world? You didn't find like there was one place like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. I can end up here.
Oh, there are a lot of cool places. But again, being a reserve, I also had a career with the sheriff's office. So I didn't actually leave Yuma for a long length of time.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So you were here. So what got you to the sheriff's office?
I joined the military because I wanted to be in law enforcement. So you couldn't carry a gun until you're 21, but in the military at 18 you can. So when I turned 21, I actually applied for the sheriff's office and the police department, and the sheriff's office hired me first.
So it was either or. You just knew that you wanted to be in law enforcement.
I did. I wanted to help people.
So what was it like when you first got the gun and you're officially part of the sheriff's?
It was great. My parents were proud. I actually called my mom. I started working in the jail. I said, "Hey, Mom, I'm in jail." She said, "Oh, mijo, no."
Ay, Dios mío, mijo.
I said, "No, I got a job. I work in the jail." It was great. It was a great experience.
So what year was this?
1987, back in the 1900s.
Yeah, the 1900s, 1987. So what was Yuma like back then when you became a sheriff?
You know, it's interesting. If you're not in the business, you don't realize how much crime there is. There is actually crime. But what's changed a lot is respect for law enforcement. That's changed a lot over the last 30 years.
In which direction?
I think to the worst. I don't know if that's the proper word.
Yeah.
But when you pulled somebody over back then, it was, they give you a license and registration. They already started apologizing for doing wrong. Today, it's an argument for the license and registration, or they roll the window up and you can't talk to them. It's just incredible. I don't know if I could do it today in this society.
So it was different then. You said there was a level of respect, a certain courtesy that you would show law enforcement if you're in that situation. And I've seen the videos, right, where people would want to make a TikTok video of them arguing with the police, trying to pretend like they or whatever. I know more than them. I know my rights and stuff, which is important to know your rights. I
it is
100% believe that. Yeah. But then the same courtesy you want, you should show, correct?
That is definitely correct. And I've never given a ticket to somebody who didn't want one. 90% of the time, probably 95% of the time, people are already apologizing for what they did wrong, and they knew it.
Yeah.
But that 5%, they wanted to argue us. Yep, you're getting a ticket because you don't get it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then how, like in your career in the sheriff's department or sheriff's office?
Sheriff's
office, right?
That's correct.
I forget. I'll get a call.
It's not a department.
Yeah, it's not a department. It's an office. How far did you take that?
I made it to, I was a captain. I was able to be a patrol commander and a detention commander. So I was able to enjoy both sides of it.
So, and then you retired from that to be on city council, or like?
Well, I actually campaigned for sheriff when I retired in 2020.
Oh, in 2020.
That's correct.
I thought so. I thought I remembered you doing that campaigning because people were saying like your name was brought up in that, and so you campaigned to become the sheriff, which is an elected position.
That's why it's an office.
That's an office,
not a department.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what? We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back, and we're going to find out how you ended up on city council, how that's going, and some of the stuff that's on the docket.
Cool.
All right, we'll do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here at 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
The Yuma County Library District hosts Barks and Books, an opportunity for young children to read a story to a service dog, Monday, May 11th at the main library from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Studies show that reading to dogs can help children improve their reading skills and become more confident readers. Information at yumalibrary.org.
A warming trend has begun in Yuma, Parker, and Quartzsite. Today, we expect an afternoon high of about 98 degrees. Winds are calm, becoming westerly at 5 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies in all three cities with a low around 65 degrees.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Join me for Bonus Smiles, the show sharing the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Why? Because the rando cheering you on at a mile 77 aid station is the same kind of person who supports local public radio. Join us every Saturday at 5 a.m. on KOFA at 94.7 FM for stories that soothe and jams that power long runs.
Tom Hacksaw Colson had a 2008 Ford Escape Hybrid that lived a previous life working in photo radar. After using it for years car camping, Tom's car died right outside of Parker. Rather than tow it, Tom donated the car to Border Radio. If you'd like to donate your vehicle, running or not, visit borderradioaz.org/cars.
Tuned in to Border Radio KOFA. We are your local public radio station that celebrates the power of music to bring people together. You can see our playlists, listen to our live stream, and listen to past programs on demand on the KOFA app. Find it at your favorite app store.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here with City Council Member Mark Martinez, and we were kind of talking about a little bit of reminiscing about Okietown a little bit. So, hold on real quick. The Giannis family, are you related to them?
That's correct, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that was 2 houses down from where I live.
I mean, half the neighborhood, the Bedoyas.
The Bedoyas, yeah.
My cousins also.
Axel or Excel.
He's the youngest.
Yeah, he was the youngest. And his sister, the one that passed away, God rest her soul, used to babysit me.
Is that right?
Yeah. I swear. So I grew up right there.
That was the Mesa.
Yeah, the Mesa. Have you heard about the Mesa?
Neighborhood?
Yeah. Well, the Mesa murders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But let's get off of that and let's get on some better topics. So again, you ran for sheriff. Obviously, it didn't go in the way you wanted to go, but it sounds like you like to serve, right? We found out here that you're willing to take out the trash just because you wanted to volunteer. So how did city council become in your purview?
You know, it was interesting. I always want to serve.
Yeah.
And I still have a life in me to serve. And I was talking to a friend of mine over lunch, and I said, you know what, I could try that. I could be on city council. Not realizing I had 8 days to get 700 signatures.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like 8 days away, and you're like, hey, I could do this.
I told my wife, she's like, yeah, go for it. And then we realized this is going to be a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it, and I got on city council.
So, okay, tell me how you did it in 8 days.
Knocking on doors, a lot of good people helping me, assisting me, my son, my wife, who walked the neighborhoods. And we just went door to door looking for signatures.
Door to door, you're getting these signatures. You finally get 700. Actually, you probably got more because you always want to get more,
900.
right? Yeah, so you got about 900. You get on the ballot. So how'd it go campaigning?
It's not like it is today, that's for sure. It was very cordial. It was very nice. Martin Garcia is a good man. I won. I got more votes, but there's never an animosity. I actually invited him to the VFW for a meet and greet so people could meet us because he's a veteran also.
Yeah, and you're not up for re-election at this term, right? So, and you have a smile on your face because you're one of the lucky ones right now.
Holy moly.
Because it is pretty contentious right now. We're not going to get into it. This is a positive show here. Yeah. We're not going to talk about that, but it is. We'll just say that's what it is. So tell me a little bit about maybe some of the accomplishments that you're kind of proud of in your first few years, and then also what's going on today.
You know, I think the best thing for me was the first year just paying attention to see how it works and not saying too much, but learning what my role is and what I can actually do for Yuma. So that's probably the best thing that I can say. And just making the friendships, the alignments with the other council members and the mayor, I think that's really cool, getting to know everybody. And we all have different perspectives.
Yes.
Which is good, and it should happen that way.
I love that you say that because that's a good thing.
It definitely is.
Because we're such a unique community, and then we're also a diverse community. Right. So then not everybody's going to think like you. And that's OK, because to get somebody 6, you have to have somebody's 12. Right. Like that's the way it works.
Exactly right.
So Victor's looking that way. I'm looking this way. And that's the way it goes. And if I see something, oh, hey, and he sees something, hey. And you're saying that's a good thing. So tell me how that plays out when you're behind the dais.
You know, talking with the other council members, and we can only talk to, I think, 2 or 3 on any subject.
Yeah.
Because of the open meeting laws.
Because, yep.
So it's really interesting to get their perspective and their experience on different life things. Like I have law enforcement background, so that helps when we're talking about public safety. And then we've got different areas of expertise where I listen to them like, I never even thought about that. That's a good idea. And I'll vote that way or go that way.
Because you value what they're saying. Maybe if you don't even agree on certain other things, but they have the experience, the real world experience. You're like, okay, I see that point.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I've said that many times. You're exactly right.
So we'll have to have you on another time to talk more in depth about issues, but obviously there's a lot going on with the council. I know one thing that has been in the public's discussion is data centers, right? And the Mayor Nichols has come out and said there's no plans, there's nothing coming up before a vote before the city council. What do you think about the discussion? Obviously it's nothing's concrete, but what do you think about like data centers and the discussion?
I've been to one discussion, and I need to go to a lot more just to understand it. I would actually like to go see these data centers to make a good decision. A lot of the community on social media aren't hip to the idea. But is that everybody in Yuma? So, and that's what I need to look at. Does it help employment? Does it create more jobs? Or is it just an eyesore and deplete our resources?
Yeah.
So there's a lot more.
And those things need to be weighed and measured,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Weighed and measured, and not just because somebody saw a TikTok reel saying they're a bad thing, and then you believe that, right? Because I did a little bit of research on it, and they're like, oh, they're going to use all the water. And so, well, they have a closed loop system where the water gets recycled. So that's a lie, right? Or it's going to take up all this electricity and raise our rates. Well, actually, it doesn't, right? You could go through systematically and find out okay, that isn't right. That makes a good TikTok reel to put fear in your life.
Exactly.
But then you can't just make decisions off of watching a TikTok reel that says, oh, they're evil,
Like with anything, you got to weigh the pros and the cons, right?
You definitely do it. And I'd like to do a lot more homework, and maybe we can come back and talk about what
awesome.
I found out. There's just so much craziness going on, and the negative gets out there. But the people that think positive, they don't really say anything.
Yeah.
And that's the downside, is understanding what everybody wants. And I work for you, and so I want to know what you think,
right?
So I can make a decision for you, the people.
So I know, going off of that, I know that you hear from residents, whether it's in a council meeting, you might see something on Facebook that someone posts to you or someone else, maybe not nice, but what can you say? How should people get more involved in city council? Going to meetings, running for council?
Great question, and I encourage everybody to look at the agenda, give your favorite council member a call, tell them what your concerns are so we can bring it up on the dais. You're right on point. I encourage everybody to attend the council meetings, get involved.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. Like, call, because I have a few resources there. I'll call like either Chris Morris or Art, right? I'll give them a call and say, hey, how do you feel about this? Or sometimes Carol, depending on the issues, or Leslie, depending on what I want to know about, because they have maybe some real world experience about those things. And give a call and find out and talk to somebody about it, rather than just making some decisions on stuff. Especially if you want to run, find out what it is to be on the other side of that.
Real quick, Art Morellis, I got to give you a shout out. He said to make sure and say hi to you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love Art, man. Yeah.
But yeah, talk to your favorite one, whatever their background is. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what your thoughts are. And then we can have a good discussion on that. We go back to the office and do our research together.
Because I know there's been issues that came up, like there was a council meeting yesterday where things came up, like the spaceport or Kennedy Pool. Anything you want to say quickly on either of those?
Well, we voted on the feasibility on the Kennedy Pool. I think a lot of people want the pool back. I grew up just like you, walking barefooted to Kennedy Pool.
Absolutely, with the towel, barefoot with the towel, and absolutely.
But there's so many considerations also. Are there enough people that will attend to support the operation to keep it year long? I don't know. I'm anxious for the feasibility to see what's going on and what we can do for the community.
And then spaceport, real quick. Do you want to say anything about that?
That was long before I started. I brought it up on the dais. It's been 6 years. And I really don't know much about it yet.
I'm glad you're honest, man. That's what I appreciate. Seriously, that's like the best thing. Like, if you just say, I don't know much about it. Like,
I don't know.
And then the other thing that you said that comforted me, it's like, ask, talk. Let's have a conversation. I'm here for you. What are your thoughts about it?
Exactly. We work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much. And so if you want to give you're on social media or anything, or
I would just shout out to everybody that follows me, especially to my wife, my biggest support. I love her so much. She's so great to me. Normally she'd be on the other side of the window giving me the don't say that or have her signs.
Yeah. No, she's not here. Surprisingly enough, she must have had enough confidence in you that you're going to do a good job today.
I'll hear about it later.
Yo, that's it. She's watching and taking notes at home, right?
Okay. But I thank God for everything that I've become.
All right.
I'm truly blessed.
Thank you so much for what you do on council and here over at the station, not just taking out the trash.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. All right. And with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornelas, Juan Garcia, Dave Rica, and Cecilia.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music.
And on tomorrow's program, we're going to have Joe Figueroa and Paul. They will be on the show.
And also 2 players from AWC Men's Soccer.
Yep.
And you can find out more about, listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
All right. If you want to be on the show, make sure you visit whatsupyuma.biz. Once again, that's whatsupyuma.biz. Click that radio link and click book me. And if you want to find out events, we got events up there too. A lot of cool stuff going on around town right here in Yuma. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.
Broadcasting from Yuma campus of Arizona Western College for more than